Hey guys, what's up? This is Nephis here, and this will probably be my last Scalebreaker PTS video, as Scalebreaker update 23 and the DLC are being launched on the 12th of August, very shortly here soon. So this will probably be my last video for the PTS, and in this video I want to look primarily at one of the few skills that were changed in week 5 that a lot of people have overlooked. So Radiant Regeneration. Right, so this the first change was the power surge. Basically, they finalized power surge, which is a sorcerer specific skill, to become a class AoE heal. The second change was to a wrestle staff skill, mutagen. This is actually not rapid regeneration, which is the other morph of regeneration, the base skill. This is actually formerly the mutagen skill. And basically what mutagen used to do, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Radiating Regeneration's tooltip says. It heals you and up to 2 nearby allies for X amount over X seconds. And then mutagen, the difference between this and mutagen is, mutagen, if it's taking on someone and that someone goes below 20% health, mutagen would not only give a burst heal, but it would also remove one harmful effect from that person. So it gave a burst heal and also a cleanse for one status effect. And Radiating Regeneration, this skill now doesn't do that. They basically removed the core function of mutagen, which was the burst heal plus the status effect going away, into simply a heal over time. And it's actually a pretty strong heal over time for both PvE and PvP, in my opinion. So it says here, share your staff's life-giving energy, healing you or up to 3 nearby allies for 20-some thousand over 10 seconds. Now the tooltip obviously can become a lot bigger than this. Right now, for reference, I'm just doing the typical 2 Bogdan, Olo, and Jorvold setup that a lot of healers still do on live. The only difference here is that I have 3 spell damage glyphs, as I'm sure a lot of healers will go that way because, since we have 1 spring and the 1 orb cap, there's no real need for sustain. There's no real need to go the Atro Mundus in most scenarios. So, again, all 3 spell damage glyphs, Thief, to increase your crit strike chance with heal, or whatever you want to do. If you can do Apprentice, whatever. But basically, that's a very tame tooltip. We're seeing we can definitely buff that up with a potion. So what we're seeing here is basically a very tame tooltip in comparison to what you could probably get if you really wanted to increase the tooltip amount. But basically, it's about 2,000 to 2,100 healing done per second on average. And in comparison to Illustrious Heals only does about 2,000 or so. And just to show you guys a reference, comparing Radiating Regeneration to the other healing done. So here we have Radiating Regeneration. The max crit strike or crit heal was 6.1k. And you can look at the combat log here as well. I just went through VHOF trash on the PTS for a little bit. Illustrious Heals, Illustrious Healing, the max crit was 4.1k. So already you can see a large disparity in the healing done. Not just in, the highest, but also the average, right? And we got Energy Orb here, we got Combat Prayer, Bogdan, whatever. These are all just comparisons you guys can look at. Basically, Radiating Regeneration is going to be a pretty strong heal over time. And this will probably be one of the many answers to what healers are going to do between the large time gaps in casting Illustrious Healing and Orb. So just to give you guys an example, I'm going to cast an Orb. Let's imagine that's going through players, and I'm going to cast Healing Springs or Illustrious Healing. And we have 10 seconds left, right? Or 12 seconds entirely on the Illustrious Heal alone, whatever. And then what do? Do you just do Combat Prayer spam? Sure. But we can also have the option of keeping up Rapid Regeneration and Radiating Regeneration. So there's a downside and an upside. The upside is, obviously, they gave us one thing, or at least one thing to look at to heal a trial or heal intensive fights. And this will definitely be a very, very strong heal over time if it goes live like this in 4-man content. For PvP even, it's gonna be a very, very strong heal over time, especially for PvP. So the downside to Radiant Regeneration is how practical is it to keep it up outside of 4-man content? How practical is it to expect to hit it, to, you know, have it hit, you know, the other 11 people or the other 10 people if you want to be generous? The problem with Radiant Regeneration in its current state is it can go to the exact same people it touched, lest you move your position. So really, how practical is it to use in trials? Won't really know for sure. I think for a lot of fights, it could be practical. For other fights, it definitely will not be if it goes live as it is. If groups really want to try to make it work, they'd have to adjust positioning and so on, which probably isn't really worth it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. This will be one of many answers. I think one of the many answers to what healers will be doing in between keeping up the basic heal from the orb and the illustrious healing, and whatever else you want to do in the meantime, like debuffing, buffing for the group, whatever. But in addition to Radiant Regeneration, we have yet to see a couple other changes that I'm probably gonna touch upon in the next video of mine, which will be going over how to heal basically. And if you guys have any suggestions or questions about healing next patch, feel free to put it down in the comments below, and I'll try to incorporate it in the healing guide for Scalebreaker. And as always guys, thanks for watching, stay safe and have fun.